KPBS On Demand is supported by the San Diego County Toyota dealers, presenting a new 2025 Tundra designed to combine performance and comfort with up to 437 horsepower and 10-speed automatic transmission. See your Toyota dealer, the San Diego County Toyota dealers. We make it easy.
You are now listening to Meridian Arts.
The story you're about to hear is true. It takes place in the wild world of rap and contains mature content that may not be appropriate for all audiences. Like NWA said,
parental discretion's advised.
I heard you was going gangster. I'm like, going gangster? How, where? That's all people heard was Atomic Dog and the claps. They didn't hear what I was saying. They didn't hear what I was going through.
I'm 46-year-old and a real rap aficionado. As I'm sure you know, the culture of hip-hop has 4 major tenets: DJing, breakdancing, graffiti, and rap. I study all of them. But I'm really interested in rap. I'm fascinated by the impact of its writers. I've played my share of shows all over the country, and one thing that allows you is a ton of conversation about the art and history of rap. Me and my cats have closed down many a venue arguing about where my city sits in the world of rap and why. Hip-hop's anniversary yielded a ton of articles and interviews on the subject. Being the black rap nerd that I am, I started to notice certain cities have something about their contribution that makes them unique. San Diego was one of those cities. I tapped in with some of those close friends I've been discussing rap with over the years, and we put together this series to map the whole thing out for you. But here's the deal. This isn't the history of hip-hop. This isn't a complete timeline. But it is what happened. Some details will be left out. Ian Fleming was a whole spy. He wrote Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and we don't care nothing about that. All we want to talk about is his 007 books and movies, right? Keep that in mind. This is about San Diego rap and the incredible way it got where it is today. You ready? Let's go. This is San Diego Story.
KPBS On Demand is supported by the San Diego County Toyota dealers, offering a new 2025 lineup of vehicles at your local Toyota dealer, including a new Tacoma with turbocharged 4-cylinder engines and a hybrid powertrain option. The San Diego County Toyota dealers. We make it easy.
Our last episode showed us 2 prominent styles of San Diego rap: gangster rap and backpack rap. These 2 sounds bookend our sonic spectrum, with pop success sitting in the center, each genre having offshoots of itself.
Rapper Tony the Schizo.
Just like one of the members of the East Siders, I forget that dude's name, Goldie.
Yeah, Goldie Loke.
Man, he was at my crib when I was playing that shit, and man, he was like, yo, that beat is crazy. I want to use that beat for this and that. And I'm like, really? At the time, everybody was looking for a different sound, man. And it's like the rap community in Southern California was making noise, but it wasn't that big. It was a huge gap between where Dr. Dre was and everybody else. It's like Snoop was right there with Dr. Dre, but the East Siders wasn't quite there. That was Snoop's project. So when those dudes wanted to make solo projects and shit like that, they didn't have no help. They were looking around. You know what I mean? So it's like dude was like not a fan, but you know, he appreciated some of the fun shit that I was doing.
Remember that list that makes us different? 1. San Diego rap life and San Diego street life run very close together. 2. San Diego has a knack for being criminally ahead of the mainstream. 3. SD rappers tend to excel because our art and business acumen are often equally sharp. 4. Our love-hate relationship with record labels. Here's number 5. We're always in the right place. Because of our proximity to LA, we learn the way they do things and acknowledge that as the standard. Our familiarity with hood and Hollywood politics makes us a commodity in the industry.
Side story on DKM, we had a manager back then, and he put us in the studio. First time in the studio, we recorded two singles, and I remember they took him to Ruthless, and I remember he went up there, and I don't know what he screwed off the deal, but I know Easy was intrigued on signing the group.
DKM.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, more mystery than anybody. But yeah, I remember that was a big deal. My name is Alex Lopez, aka DJ LC.
Word. And I'm actually reaching out to you because I interviewed you before, and we were talking about when you DJ'd for Biggie when he played Club Banks out here in Mission Valley, a legendary moment in San Diego.
Yeah, well, I didn't DJ for him. I was on the bill as one of the DJs, the warm-up acts and I was part of the team that brought him down. The guys from Jamaica House from LA were also our management and record company from when I was working with Mystery.
How did that come about?
Mystery is Eddie Jenkins, is his government name. My best friend, actually, growing up. When I moved down from LA, I was in junior high, and he was one of the first person to really click up. And we both had a love for hip hop, from the get, and we just, always were rolling together. He ended up signing with Kiss 'Em Records, which was the label that Paperboy was signed to. And the way it happened, I used to own a record shop, a little tape shop in the indoor swap meet on 54th in El Cajon. It's called the San Diego Indoor Bazaar. So I had a little tape shop there, and I had Paperboy do a signing at my store. And the management and owners of the label were there. So I had Mystery there, and I told him, hey, just spit. And he spit a verse. I pretty much got the deal on the spot. They were just blown away.
What happens to his label deal?
I remember going with him to a meeting in Beverly Hills, of all places for a gangster rapper. We met with the head A&R of Chrysalis Records. Because they were thinking of picking up Mystery and distributing. That's kind of what Kiss 'Em did with Paperboy. Is Next Plateau picked up Paperboy, and that's where the album came out. Because Kiss 'Em was a small little indie company. So I remember we were up there meeting with Chrysalis, and then I don't know what happened to that deal. I think they wanted too many points or something, and Kiss 'Em decided they didn't want to do it. And just when everything started unraveling, they just released Mystery.
Got you.
But then he had another opportunity.
What happened?
I of course, he, my best friend. So I always wanted him to make it, especially because he was so dope. I always thought he was the best MC in San Diego, in my opinion. But so I hooked him up with DJ Rags, the legendary. DJ Rags. I was still up in LA, but I hooked them up with Rags, and they started working, and they had some heat. And I know that there was a little, he was hooked. 2 different labels were bidding for him, and we thought it was going to happen again, and but unfortunately, life got in the way. And Mystery didn't make it to sessions, so. Again, you don't make it to sessions, you don't do work, labels will look the other way. They'll find somebody else.
Al started his interview saying his group, DKM, went to Ruthless Records to get a deal, and Mystery was signed. DKM was doing big things.
It was all-star MCs from different high schools. We all clicked up because of one man. The producer of all the records back then for us was Doc Devious. Devious Fresh, man, that was my man. He brought us all together.
The start of every episode, I tell you, this series isn't a timeline, specifically because events overlap. If you have an idea on Monday and I have the same idea on Wednesday, but my version is more popular, who gets credit? The person who did it first or the person who did it biggest? Up until now, we focused on biggest. But part of what I'm doing is documentation. DJ Al C led me to producer Doc Devious. And in our conversation, he name checks who he thinks was the first to do it.
My name is Doc Devious. I'm originally from Carbondale, Illinois. Grew up in East San Diego, California. and I now live in Atlanta, Georgia. If you were first generation San Diego hip hop, you came through Devious. So I worked with everybody. So that means I worked with Steve Vicious, Cricket B, Jayo Felony, Issei Uno, all those guys out of my camp, Royalty, Mystery. You know, I knew all those guys. I worked with all those guys, man. So
we were talking earlier, and you mentioned the earliest rapper you heard of.
Yeah, Little CS comes from City Heights, East San Diego, and he grew up around the 40s area. Now, I'm not sure if he was born in San Diego or not, but I know he grew up there. He's been there for most of his life. So, yeah, he was involved in the street gangs as myself. We from the same gang, so we grew up in the same neighborhood, and he was influential in not only doing the rap thing, but you know, during the crack era, our neighborhood happened to be one of the neighborhoods where a lot of the money got made. So he was known in the streets for, you know, selling dope, man. And they got caught up in the federal indictments of 87, 88, 89 around that time, man, and got snatched off the street. So a lot of those brothers that were real good brothers for us in the beginning got taken off the streets for the indictments. But yeah, that's who Little CS is, man. He's a original street dude from East San Diego who got caught up in the drug indictments, but he did put out the first actual hardcore tape that everybody knew in San Diego, which today I wouldn't recommend doing that, what he did, because, you know, it was a lot of gang stuff in the tape, a lot of gang rap, but in that time, it was innovative, man. It was, you know, that was the representation. That's how it was done. And so, yeah, he's the actual first dude that I ever heard to do it.
Yeah, I found a thread on sickness.net from 2003 where he said that he put it out in 1988. So you're spot on. Did we have a rap scene here at that time?
It was close-knit, but it was divided because everybody had to be loyal to their neighborhoods, but we were still loyal to each other as artists. So we didn't have problems getting on each other's records. We would just probably have a little issue if we went to the other side of town to do a show or a venue. We live, but you get pressed because, of course, you're on the other side of town and people want to check you and see where you're at because you're on these rap records, you're talking all this hard stuff. So we want to see if you're really about what you're talking about. So we went through those things in the city, but for the most part, the rap community was fairly close. So we would always be together. We would always be at the same venues, and we would always big each other up when we were on stage.
Okay. I see what you're saying in things being close but divided. That's kind of dope. Hey, and I still got a couple cats I gotta chop it up with. Hey, is it cool if I hit you right back?
Cool.
Word. Little CS represents San Diego rap at the street level, building a buzz on the block until people want to buy your tapes. Then LOD knocks it up a level, getting their tapes in stores, and Vicious Beat Posse takes it to a whole nother level by signing to the majors. That killer combo of street cred and book smarts keeps paying off for us.
And just look at the artists today. It's like a blueprint, right? It's like a blueprint. You want your own a liquor company, you want your own jewelry, you want your own cologne, you want your own clothes, you want your own sneakers. And that started back in the 80s and 90s. Look what happened. All those small companies gave birth to like Carl Kanai and Sean John and Fat Farm. It's just part of the evolution. It's the fabric of hip hop from these little entities that we call artists and producers and people trying to find their niche.
That's Craig Fraiser. He's a native New Yorker and a San Diego transplant with a career in culture, writing for magazines such as The Source, Vibe, and Rap Pages. He's the man in music and movies. About
93, I had worked with DJ P, Paul Stewart. He worked at Delicious Vinyl. And then he said, hey, man, I've been offered a job with John Singleton. He's like, would you like to come up here and work with me? I've been working with you for a couple of years. You were the man in San Diego from New York. You networked. And I said, okay, cool. So we did Poetic Justice. We did that soundtrack. And then Jam came up. And Jam was living with Al Jarreau. He was living in Al Jarreau's garage. Did he tell you that part? He moved to LA because I don't know if he started working with Dre then or not, but I know that we knew Corrupt from San Diego because Corrupt's manager went to San Diego State.
Hey, hold on. Don't we have a clip of DJ Jam telling Jay Smith this story recently?
Yeah, man. Let me see. Yep, we got it. I'll cue it up.
Remember DJ Jam, episode 2? He broke ground early moving mixtapes out of the Rhodium swap meet in LA. Well, true to his character, he never stopped building, never stopped hustling, and his moves were paying off.
I met Corrupt in San Diego because I used to do the Greek shows at San Diego State. And they let me control, like after a year or two, they let me control the whole music for the whole weekend. I did all the parties and I booked the acts that performed. So I was booking, WC in the Mad Circle, Coolio, Dog Pound, you know what I mean? I remember this like yesterday, dude. I put on In Vogue's Hold On. Dum, 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 and I'm bringing it back. Corrupt grabbed that microphone, homie, and must have freestyle for 10 minutes straight. Everybody in the crowd's mouths were open, like hitting the floor, like, you know what I mean? Nobody was nobody. Everybody was just like, couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? Including me.
Craig Fraiser.
To me, Jam was the first K Slay. You heard of DJ K Slay, right? Mm-hmm. Jam was the first K Slay. Like, he was selling mixtapes out the front, and he was selling. He got so hot and so popular with his mixtapes. I met Jam, not too long after I did the show with Tila Rock. And Tila Rock's beatbox was Greg Nice from Nice and Smooth. So when he came with Tila Rock, because I grew up with Tila Rock, and then when Greg Nice came, that forged another friendship because he never forgot coming to New York the first time when he was 15. And we've been friends ever since. And that was a great experience because as they got their deal with Jeff Jam, I would just piggyback with them every time they came to town. I would go to Soul Train with them or go to their video shoots. And then that started opening up San Diego even more because people wanted to start coming down to San Diego more and do things. And as a matter of fact, the first time I did the rap show, he was down with Pac. Him and Pac came down because Pac was doing shows in San Diego too during the time when he first had his first albums. And so they forged a friendship and they would always come to San Diego to hang out. A lot of hip hop heads and a lot of rappers would come down to San Diego. We weren't LA, but we were in the mix. Like when artists came to LA, they came to San Diego. And so you can imagine all the artists coming down, Nas, E40, Too Short. They would come and either do an in-store or they would do radio.
Word. Okay, I dig. This, and this is a tangent, but I'm a big fan. How did your name end up in one of his freestyles?
Check it out. Notorious B.I.G. representing DJ to the fullest. Junior Mafia for life. Give a shout out to DJ Jam, Craig Fraiser.
Oh, so we did the Ready to Die snippet. Jason Ricks worked for Arista, and that's who Biggie was down with. That's what Puffy was down, Bad Boy was down. So we were doing snippets, like the hot DJs at the time would do snippets. And so they asked us to do the snippet.
That's crazy. That joint's a certified classic.
You pretty much know most about me. I can elaborate on some things. I could give you some more stories. Once we come together again, I'm at your disposal.
That's so cool of you. Hey, do me a favor, just stay on the line. I want to make sure I got your contact info. Listener, stick around because you do not want to miss the second half of this episode. Trust me, I'll be right back. Welcome back. This episode has us highlighting SD Rap's upward path from our streets to LA record labels. Conversations in the media often frame us as LA's little brother. Our natural ambition keeps us seeing the downside of this scenario. frequently forgetting this also means we're in one of the most powerful positions possible, side by side with the best, seen as equals.
My name is Razzcast, and I am a hip-hop philosopher / writer, rapper guy thing.
Wait a minute. That's Razzcast.
The waterproof MC, you ain't wetting me. You need to stop rapping and start robbing banks like Steady B. Cause see, no matter how much green you make, you never taste the avocado. Just another broke Versace model. Tiger Woods ain't even up to par in the game of survival. That's why I'm pissing in your crystal bottles.
Pitchfork Media ranked him number 30 as one of the best rappers of all time, and I could not agree more. In some circles, his pen game is considered the standard. If you aren't already familiar, as soon as you finish this episode, look up his debut project, Soul on Ice.
Could you possibly tell me about your rap relationship with San Diego?
Probably the closest, big city to LA. So when I first got an opportunity to do radio, that was one of the first places I hit. I already had I had family out there, my Uncle Larry and his 2 daughters. So I'd been there as a human being. But going as an artist, it was a cool scene, man. It was just, every city, neighborhoods have their own character, but, just collectively, Dago had its own hip-hop character, and I always enjoyed it.
This is part of the discussion that we're having is it a 50-50 split from what you've seen in San Diego between, let's say, maybe backpack rap to gangster rap?
No, I think it's leaning heavily 80-20, like more gangster, Because, Dago's an interesting place. It's military, then it's college, then it's, it's hood, then TJ right across, so you got stupid tourists. It's like a very interesting design. It's its own unique animal.
You're an official West Coast rapper, you've been here since the 90s. You've been holding it down. Hey, who are some of the San Diego names that ring bells, if any?
Jayo Felony, Jayo always stood out. I knew Jayo's music before I met Jayo. So, Yeah, definitely.
Born James Savage, Jayo Felony is a thoroughly respected San Diego MC who trudged through each level of rap mentioned in this episode, grinding it out to reach a hip-hop zenith.
My influences go from NWA to Ice Cube to LL Cool J, Rakim, of course, Big Daddy Kane. Basically, everybody that was ripping the mics, being true MCs is what I was raised on, just hardcore hip hop. And I actually was put in the game by the legendary Jam Master Jay from Run DMC's fame. Rest in peace to Jam Master Jay. That's who, got me in the game. So I was out in New York a lot, battling rappers in New York. Jam Master Jay would be like, y'all can't mess with son. You know what I mean? And he'll put up money and have me battling cats, man. And I was airing them out 5, 6 at a time.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? And they was all waiting for a situation, trying to get a deal with him because he had Onyx and all the juice with Russell Simmons at the time. Mm-hmm. And they just put out Slam and the record with Onyx. So I signed with them right after that. First thing I put out there was the Jason's Lyrics soundtrack that came out with Tretch and them and Eddie Griffin. Shout out to Eddie Griffin. A lot of guys got their first movie roles in that film and launched a lot of careers. You know what I mean? Jada Pinkett was in that movie. It was crazy. You know what I'm saying? And to actually have one of my first songs to play in the actual film when they were about to rob the bank or whatever.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? And they was playing my stuff in the back. So it was just overwhelming, you know what I mean? To get with somebody, I was watching movies like Crush Groove and stuff like that too. So to get in the game with Run DMC was a blessing. You know?
And you went on a run for a minute, man, because you was on the Jason's Lyrics soundtrack, you was on the Rush Hour soundtrack, you was on the Show soundtrack.
The Show soundtrack was dope.
That's major because that was solidifying who solidified the art.
And we had the How to Be a Player soundtrack with Bernie Mac and Bill Bellamy in it.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Sir.
I remember going to Vegas for that party with me and Foxy Brown and EPMD and all of us performing that night in Vegas for that soundtrack. Wow. And they flew us out. We was all staying at the Luxor Hotel, and it was just a great time. You know what I mean?
Nutty.
Yeah.
Nutty. You actually, I had this conversation with Razcast not too long ago, man, and I'll be talking to him. I'm gonna play
Shout out to Raz.
Hey, let me play this little piece. This is this thing that he said.
Hey, who are some of the San Diego names that ring bells, if any?
Jayo Felony, Jayo always stood out. Like, I knew Jayo's music before I met Jayo, so.
Hey, and he goes on for like another minute and a half, and what he's saying is that you don't get your credit. He looks at you and Corrupt and him as being in that elite space.
No doubt. No doubt. Them is dope. Them niggas got bars, you know what I mean? Corrupt, my bro. Shout out to Raz, man. He always held it down.
Super mean pen, and
yes, sir.
You were touching on Cool J.
Yeah.
You have this thing where you can write Billboard tracks with Cool J, Cube, Exhibit, but you can also write certified hood hits.
Yeah.
If you had to categorize yourself, would you say you're a lyricist or a gangster rapper?
I would say I'm a lyricist at first. I feel the gangster image is like the media, really. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's really reality rap. You know what I'm saying? It's speaking what's real. You know what I'm saying? And they put the gangster tag on it.
San Diego has this split reputation. I want to ask you what you think of it. Is San Diego backpack or is it gangster?
San Diego's definitely like gangster rap. You know what I mean? But I like lyricism. You know what I'm saying? So just me. I really honor the fact that to be good at putting words together. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different ball game for me. A lot of gangster rappers don't have the it. They just, you know what I mean? Like give them a funk track and then okay, they from the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? It's like with me, I try to think out the box. Like when producers work for me, even to this day, I tell them don't send me nothing which you think I'm a rap on.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Send me something out of the ordinary to where I can, play with what I do best, play with these words with a beat that people wouldn't expect me to rap on. You know what I mean? But I feel like San Diego is mostly gangster rap. That's what's gonna stick to the wall. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
And that's where I came from. You know what I mean? I came out living for them 4 things. Basically, is a gang song. You know what I mean? And I was giving it up for my hood, and I was speaking in code on the record. You know what I mean? And if you would hear it, it was basically I'm dissing my enemies, you know what I mean? But I'm speaking in code on the record. That's where it all started at, you know what I mean? I got to give shouts out to like guys like Legion of Doom and guys like that came before me that was putting it on for San Diego. I was signed to Def Jam in New York. When they dropped everybody from the West Coast, I was the only one didn't get dropped.
Right.
I was the only West Coast artist from San Diego. When they had all kind of LA, Compton, Long Beach rappers, they dropped all their ass. The San Diego cat was the only one made the cut from Lior, the check writer, what they call him, Lior. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't got nothing bad to say about Lior because Lior always had love for me, so I can't do nothing to someone that got love for me but give them love back. You know what I'm saying? Me and Lior brother is still cool to this day, Marty. You know what I'm saying? So, and when people ride with you in a van and thug it out with you and they not even a part of your lifestyle, you have a different type of respect for them and love for them. You know what I mean? Like Marty called me like he has a big party coming up that he just invited me to. You know what I'm saying? So I never burned my bridges, you know what I'm saying? I just wasn't for no funny games, you know what I mean? Like it was a lot of funny games in this music and this entertainment, and I wasn't willing to play them games to be more successful than I am.
Okay. Hey, speaking of that label action, this is, on a slightly lighter note, your Def Jam album is huge. It's a huge moment. That's like the who's who with that season. That's Red, Meth, 8Ball, MJ Jew, West Side Connection.
Shout out to Red, you know what I mean? I seen Red give me a shout out on his recent interviews. Shout out to Red, Meth, you know what I mean? I was actually on the first Man of the Month tour with Method Man and DMX. I mean, Method Man and Redman on the first Man of the Month tour. I remember Biggie performing with us in Washington, D.C. and all kind of stuff.
Hey.
I remember we was in Riverside and Method Man actually performing the record Shermstick. You know what I mean? He got out there on his set and performed Shermstick, man. And oh man, it was crazy.
He knew it? He knew the lines?
He knew the lines, he knew the verse, and it was like I was doing backup for him while he's doing Shermstick at the show. And it was I'll never forget it, man. You know what I mean? So
what a moment, bro.
Yeah, man. So you know what I mean? It's always love. You know, but you know, me and the Wu-Tang go back, you know, years back to Virginia. You know what I'm saying? And when I was on a run, I actually was in Virginia, and I met Method Man and Papa Wu, rest in peace. You know, just out there hanging out. We was at this Jamaican restaurant where one of my folks had owned this Jamaican restaurant out there called the Blue Cafe, and man, they had some of the best Jamaican food, and it was like a slash club. And Wu-Tang, I remember Boss, rest in peace, was there.
Ew.
You know what I'm saying? Female, she just passed away. She was a dope MC. Boss used to be at the restaurant. You know what I mean? It was crazy.
Why hasn't San Diego had more mainstream success in rap?
I just feel like it's really like, man, it seemed like a lot of hate too. You know what I'm saying? Like we get a lot of hate from the bigger cities and stuff like that, but we still managed to make a way. You know what I'm saying? You got guys like Big June and Mitchie Slick, you know what I'm saying? The homie Cricket. You know, my little homies Bully 3, KP2. You know what I'm saying? Got a lot of cats coming up that's dope. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And even from the ocean side as well. You know what I mean? So it's just a point of us pushing the line and really getting out there. And I feel like by me being able to come back now and extend that hand out to help now that I can. You know what I mean? Because back then it was really kind of hard. It was even hard to be able to come here to do videos. Even when I was on Def Jam, they were looking at it like, hey, we can save all this money if you just come to LA to shoot the video. So I would have to have my homies from San Diego come to LA as opposed to the other way around. You know what I mean? So it was a struggle of getting San Diego on the map. You know what I mean? Even with me becoming Jayo Felony, I had to go to LA. I had to keep going to LA to be respected. You feel me? As a real MC. You know what I mean? So that's where it all you know came from. It's basically LA. It's like this. You want to be a famous rapper, LA is 100 miles away, where all the Ice Cubes and Dr. Dre's and Easy E's and DJ Quicks, or you gonna stay here and try to make it happen with no type of outlets.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I had to go where the outlets were. And now I laid that blueprint, and I see other rappers following that blueprint.
What's a career accomplishment that you're incredibly proud of?
Oh, man. I'm incredibly proud of just sticking to my guns. You know what I mean? And not being overwhelmed by what fame could bring or fortune or whatever they want to call it. I'm just thankful that I stuck to my guns, and now that I see how everything played out, I wouldn't have changed nothing for the world. Straight up.
Fair.
Yes, sir. I wouldn't have changed nothing for the world, and I know that God was protecting me the whole time for the whole run, because I done did some crazy things, man, and for me to still be here talking to you guys, it's an honor and a privilege, and I'm very thankful and blessed for the position that I am now. Yeah. I'm just thankful to finally be able to use my imagination and get paid for it. You know what I'm saying? And that's a blessing in itself. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Jayo Felony, San Diego's own, and I want to let y'all hear this new one, She Loves Me Not, because y'all ain't heard it before.
Yeah. You feel that? As I bring up what they missing. Are you the next that I'm dissing? Headlines, I stay on a mission while I terrorize my competition. They loving how I just ride for mine. Go on anybody's side for mine. Y'all little fools just now started to grind. Cause this bullet low kind of shine. Keep in mind, I keep it hot. Like a real hustler, gon' keep the spot. You can brag about the money before, but damn little fool, I keep it not. No show, not logo. You're so with your flow low till I go broke, logo. Put them in the chokehold for the 4-0. Yeah, oh no ho. Well, you gotta act like you ain't never handled dick before. Girl, get your ass up and hit the liquor store. When you come back, I'ma dick your mo. It's all for fun, sex and money. East Coast say y'all can't fuck with money. Expose that cat that whole NY. Now they don't even wanna be stuck with money. It's all for real, and we gon' keep it trill. And I done found the stroll. Let's roll. Here's your heels while you busters and the police try to take what I got. But baby, keep me out of trouble. And she loves me.
From Meridian Arts and KPBS, this is episode 5 of Rap Diego, a San Diego story. In our next episode, the 90s are in full swing, and our rap scene is starting to cook like fish grease. And something comes that changes everything. everywhere in music. Rap Diego is a co-production of KPBS and Meridian Arts. Host and co-creator, Parker Edison. Episodes written by Jay Smith, Chris Reyes, Don Jegger, and Stephen Flex. Extra special thanks to guest writer Melody Harold. Editing by Platform Collection. Music soundtracked by Monday Adams. Executive producer for KPBS is Lisa Jane Morissette, KPBS Director of Audio Programming and Operations. Technical and operational support provided by KPBS technical producer, sound designer, Adrian Villalobos, and KPBS producer, Julio Ortiz Franco. This programming is made possible in part by the KPBS Explore Content Fund. Shout out in no particular order to Big June, Dago's Most Wanted, K Crush, Baby Scar, Scandalous Joe. See y'all in the next episode.
KPBS On Demand is supported by the San Diego County Toyota dealers, presenting the new 2025 Camry with refined design and performance. Visit your local Toyota dealer to learn more about all the features the new 2025 Camry offers. The San Diego County Toyota dealers. We make it easy.